We are being joined by the expert who is the head health and travel insurance at policybazaar.com, Mr. Amit Chhabra. Mr. Amit, thank you so much for joining us today live on ET Now. Firstly, starting with a very general and a basic question is that we all know about the health insurance. The need has actually become more and more after the COVID pandemic. But can you just highlight us what are the major health related issues that can actually affect the health insurance premium, be it the hereditary problems that we have, or it could be some life threatening ailments as well? If you can just highlight this for our viewers.
Sure. So it's actually very, very simple. If you're an existing policy holder already, then nothing really changes your premium except the age. So as you will grow and as you will age, your premium will increase, but that is a predefined premium grade. Apart from that, if you take a claim, if you get a disease, nothing at all increases your premium. It will follow the same pattern which it should be following as when you had bought the policy. That's one. Second, if you're an existing policy buyer, now in this case, the premium typically changes mostly in case of one, either habits, which is let's say like smoking or drinking. Some insurers do levy a premium increase if you have one of these habits. And secondly, and more common is in case of pre-existing diseases. So what really happens is that in case you have a pre-existing disease like let's say diabetes or hypertension or one of these, then under these circumstances, the insurers have the right to increase the premium or they can load the premium to sort of compensate for the for your disease. So these are the only two circumstances where a premium can actually be increased by the insurance company.
Now, would like to discuss on how actually the age affects your health insurance premium. And according to you, what would you like to advise to our viewers? Like, at what age they should be like thinking about going for a health insurance and signing up for that?
Sure. See, I think two questions there. I'll answer the second one first because that's easier. See, you should take your health insurance policy as soon as possible, as young as you are. There's a very simple reason for it, and we've learned this in COVID that disease or hospitalization does not look at age when they come at you. It can happen at any point of time. We are seeing so many people getting cancer at a very young age as well. So and once you get a grave disease, then the chances of getting health insurance reduces significantly. So let's say somebody has had cancer in the past and now they've recovered and they're completely fit and fine. For them to get a health insurance policy is next to impossible. Similarly, if your kidney, liver, or anything of that sort gets impacted, the chances of you getting health insurance policy reduces drastically. Hence, the simple advice is get your health insurance policy as early and as young as you are. You don't even should be completely depending on only a corporate policy. The simple advice should be buy a individual policy for yourself. So that's part one. Now, for now premiums also do increase with age. That was the first question. Premiums, yes, they increase with age because as you age, your risk profile increases, the chances of hospitalizations increase, but there is a predefined grid. So when you're buying your health insurance policy, you can actually have a look at the premiums. Let's say if today I'm 35, what will be my premium when I'm 45, 55, 65, 75? I can actually know them right now before buying the policy as well. And insurance premiums cannot change in an ad hoc manner. They'll change only in this predefined format, which you can have a look at now. Apart from that, there is no other way that premiums may increase in the future. So what really happens is your right interests are completely protected, and insurance companies cannot just one fine day wake up and say that we're increasing your premiums. That can't really happen.
Yes, absolutely. So till now we have highlighted for our viewers that what are the scenarios where you can actually have to pay higher premium for your health insurance, and secondly, age is one criteria that can actually affect the same. But now would like to have your take. How does this BMI affects your premium? Because a person who is at a similar age and definitely is having a different BMI, for say matter when we are comparing two persons, then how does this could be a differentiating factor over them? Your takes on this?
Sure. So BMI is typically, in case the BMI is very high, then it's also considered like a pre-existing disease. And what insurers do is that they have predefined grids based on which they may either increase the premium or they may even reject the policy. Like for example, let's say if somebody's BMI is below 35, And 35 is a fairly large, is fairly high as well. But if somebody's BMI is 35, they are classified as low risk. What that means is that if your BMI is below 35, then you can take the standard premium. No loading is applied, premium is not increased, and you get your standard policy. In case your BMI is between 35 and 38, then that's classified as high BMI. And what happens in such a scenario is that your premium will be increased and it will be loaded by, let's say, 10% or 20%, depending upon how the insurer has filed the loading grid. But there may be a premium increase if you're in the high BMI category. And then there is something called the very high BMI category, let's say 38 and above, where if you have that kind of BMI, then the policy is just rejected. So the insurance company rejects the proposal and they don't issue a policy to you because you're considered fairly unhealthy, and in that case the insurance company would not like to give you the policy itself. So these are the only three possible outcomes in case of BMI. So if you have a very high BMI, then yes, chances of getting a policy reduces or it may become expensive. But if you're fairly healthy and the BMI is not very high, then you can just get the policy at the standard rate.
Okay. Thank you so much for highlighting that. And Amit, my last question to you is, how does a profession actually affects the premium of your health policy? And adding on to this, that many such professions are not that, when you categorize it as a from the safety hazard point of view, we as in a profession are not in that, but we have a very big stress level for say matter, and we have people. So is there any criteria to measure that as well?
Yes and no. So there are certain professions which come in the decline categories for insurance companies. Like for example, if somebody's in the mining, if somebody is in the mining job, and they have to actually be present at the mining sites and all, that is considered high risk. And in those scenarios, it is typically insurance companies do deny the proposal itself. So at the time of issuing the policy, the insurance company asks your occupation. And in case you're in one of these occupations, like mining, for example, is one of them. Adventure sports could be one of them, and so on and so forth. There is a list of professions that are there. In those cases, the premiums don't increase typically, but the insurance companies deny the proposal itself. So they basically tell you that we can't issue the policy to you. Apart from that, obviously there are desk jobs, or there are jobs which may be more stressful, but in case there's no physical hazard as such, then the premiums don't really change, and insurance companies typically issue the policy as well. So in short, occupation, except in case of a physical hazard, like a significant physical hazard, typically has no relation to your policy premium or policy issuance as such.
Okay, with this, we'll end this discussion. Thank you so much, Amit, for joining us on ET Now today and helping our viewers understand what are the various factors that can actually affect your health insurance premium. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.